Meghan Markle poppet, you're boasting about your scam jam at Soho House, but it's not really anything to boast about, is it? Because, like you pointed out, you're right back to where you started in your old stomping ground. Now, Soho House, one could argue, is nothing to boast about in a time of really tough economic challenges for people around the world. Going about and flogging your fake Duchess title and trying to scam people out of money to buy your jam that's white labeled is very, very grifty. And I believe that Soho House is very grifty. Imagine boasting about having your jam in a side room at Soho House, Soho Home, whatever it is, and thinking that's something that's really cool, but also boasting about the very place where you have to apply to be a member, go on a waiting list, spend thousands of pounds a year, be approved if you're cool enough or not. And I would argue the qualification to get in is very much not being cool, because I've seen the guest list there. It's nothing to brag about. And then you have to give your phone over so you can all behave in whatever way you want. Shady, if you ask me. And then pay through the nose for the privilege to be sat, being seen, but not being able to take a picture. And then you leave and try and go the back route so no one photographs you. It's weird. Why don't you all elites, why don't you just do normal things like the rest of us? Go to Costa Coffee or go with a mate to Home Bargains. That's what we're all doing, and we're really happy doing it. It's so strange that Meghan wants to boast about Soho House. It's like, Markus, hang on, let's put Markus up on the screen. She loves Markus. Oh, we'll come on to Ron Burkle in a minute. Markus, I have got loads of jam and I need to do a little PR thing. Do you think you can stock it? You won't stock it on the website. Okay. Could we do like a little pop-up shop, like just for I don't know, half a day? Yeah. No, that's fine. I know you won't do any social media about it. But I've got a boot full of white label jam. So if I drive it, yeah, and I'll just do a little video where I lay it all out on the table. I'll walk around the table and then maybe I could do some PR and, the public will fall for it. Yes, yes, they'll fall for it. No, Netflix aren't selling it on their online store. No, 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 I know the show didn't make the top 300, but we won't talk about that because I have copy approval in my interviews, Markus, so people don't ask me about it. No, what I'll do, I'll put it on Instagram and no one can have an opinion. We'll just have their money, but they can't have an opinion because I took the comments off. Okay, all right. Thanks, Markus. Bye. So, Meghan thinks we are so stupid that we think this is some boastful move. Let's have a look at her Instagram. Talk about a full circle moment in my old stomping ground of West Hollywood. This is the best bit with a brand. It's not a brand. It's not a brand. This is like me saying, oh, I own 3 companies. It's like anyone can set a company up for £49 on Company's House. Anyone can set a brand up. It's like my 4-year-old when we play imaginary play. She gets all the jams out the cupboard and lays them all on the table, and I get the fake money and pretend to buy them. Meghan is doing imaginary play, but she's doing it with Markus, her mate, who's, one of the big boys at Soho House. So, with a brand, family and friends that have been part of my life for so long. It's not really true, is it, Meghan? Not really. And also a part of my love story with H. Now, this is the best bit. I don't know why she wants to abbreviate everything. Since our very first date was a SH restaurant, why not just say Soho House restaurant? So excited to introduce As Ever Official / Soho House. If you find yourself in LA, come visit our As Ever pop-up shop. Right, if you want a real laugh, insiders, I feel like we're in this part of the week where we could all do with a little laugh. So here we go. This is the video that she's filmed in the car. Hopefully she wasn't driving when she did this. Soho Home. So it's literally a room, a tiny little room with some jam in. That's it. And a few wickless candles. Unbelievable that you would boast about this. And Soho House is not cheap. Nothing to boast about. And the very man that is the COO, or executive chairman of the board, apologies, is Ron Burkle, who I've spoken about before. And Markus, look at the bottom, is the secretary of the board. Now, we know that Markus is very well connected at Soho House, and he's told people in many, many interviews. So is his new title Jam Pimp? That's what I want to know. Because Meghan hangs off him like a leech and has used him to get into events and to be seen in all these places. And we knew that everything would go back to Soho House. If you watched Dan Wootton Outspoken earlier in the summer, when Meghan's wine was launched, I said, the only place that'll stock it will be Soho House at a push, because she's got nowhere else to go. And lo and behold, she ends up going right back to Soho House. But what I think is interesting is, imagine boasting about Soho House when Ron Burkle, the executive chairman of the board, has incredibly questionable links, I would say. He's got fairly deep history with Bill Clinton. Both of them have been on the Lolita Express, owned by Jeffrey Epstein. Both of them are in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. Now, whilst this doesn't mean they've done anything wrong, it's weird. Why would you be in Jeffrey Epstein's book and you go on the Lolita Express and you're telling me you didn't see anything? I've got questions. And then we see Ron Burkle, very friendly with Sarah Ferguson. We know Sarah Ferguson had direct links to Epstein and took money from Epstein and traveled with Epstein. And then Ron Burkle, yet again, the very man that Markus Anderson, Meghan's BFF, is always, she's always with him. He works for Ron Burkle, and you're telling me that Markus Anderson has never seen any of this stuff. I don't believe it. And Ron Burkle was also an investor into Sean Diddy Coombs's fashion line. Diddy and Ron Burkle, so close that Ron Burkle's godfather to his children. That's weird. And then Ron Burkle was incredibly close with Michael Jackson before he died. And Ron Burkle, in fact, bought the Neverland Ranch. So there comes a point where you have to think, the company you keep is a bit of a reflection of yourself, isn't it? And we know that Meghan's hung around Soho House for years and has been waiting to be spotted, I would say, and loves to mix with all the rich people. But rich people and elites, very, very strange, because the track history with Ron Burkle, I think, is murky. His son died at 27. That's tragic. Steve Bing, his very close friend, jumped out of the 27th floor, allegedly, of the building in which he lived in. Diddy, his very, very close friend, he's in jail for all of the hideous crimes that we won't go over. And Michael Jackson, we know there is a long history of extensive allegations regarding Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson also died via an accidental overdose. So there comes a point where you have to think, how much has Meghan Markle seen at Soho House? How much has Markus Anderson seen at Soho House? And I would say these people, I think they're shady. That's just my personal opinion. But to be boasting about your scam jam like this is a good move. It's not a good move. No one wants your jam poppet, and you've had to go back with your tail between your legs to where it all started, and you've had to call your mate Markus. You've driven with, a boot full of jam, and you'll be driving back with a full boot of jam because no one will buy it. This is just PR glitz and glamour, because Soho House haven't tweeted about it, they haven't Instagrammed about it, and they're not stocking it online. So Meghan Markle, stop thinking we're stupid. But what we will continue to do is put this kind of information out there, because whilst you'll do the Harper's Bazaar with copy approval and you turn your Instagram comments off so no one can have an opinion, you can't claim to care about the things you claim about, which is all false, and then not have people ask questions about your associations to people like Ron Burkle. Now, Ron Burkle has sued people time and time again. This is my opinion. I'm well within my right to make this. And there comes a point when your mates are either unalived and all involved in transportation cases and are incredibly, incredibly shady people, that you have to ask, how much has Marcus Anderson seen? And how much has Meghan Markle seen, having been on the left or right of his arm for years and years and years at Soho House? Anyone would think she just went there to try and find a prince. I don't know. That's just my gut instinct. But insiders, let's see how much scam jam gets loaded back into Meghan's car at the end of this fake pop-up shop, which is just in a side room. And I don't think there's a huge appetite the month before Christmas to spend extortionate amounts of money on white label jam and candles without wicks. What do I know though? Have a good day.